Heart Talk Between Sisters radio broadcast. Tune in to a heartwarming and enlightening radio experience like no other. Join us on a journey of love, laughter, and lifelong connections as we explore the unique bond between sisters. Our broadcast is a celebration of sisterhood, offering a safe space for candid conversations, shared memories, and inspiring stories that touch the soul. Whether you're a sister yourself or simply appreciate the beauty of this extraordinary relationship, this broadcast is for you. Discover the secrets of sisterly love, support, and understanding as we delve into personal experiences and heart-to-heart conversations that will make you smile, cry, and reflect. So, grab your favorite cup of tea, get cozy, and let our Heart Talk Between Sisters broadcast warm your heart and lift your spirits. Join us every week for an emotional journey filled with wisdom, connection, and the enduring power of sisterly bonds. Don't miss out on this extraordinary experience.
To listen to our station WCAN Radio for this and other informative programs all day long, visit www.wcanradio.us. To be a special guest in any of our segments or to support us financially through sponsorship, call 1-868-397-5961 or 1-678-856-3709.
Have you ever thought about what it really means to be a woman? Well, today you'll be exposed to some different perspectives on that question. I'm Dr. Linda Bing, speaker, author, and transformational coach, dedicated to helping professional single women become who they need to be to do the things necessary for the fulfilled love life they desire to have. In a few minutes, I'll be joined by some phenomenal women because today is a special day. One reason today is special is because it's the second anniversary of Htbs, which stands for Heart Talk Between Sisters, a dynamic platform created by women, for women, dedicated to amplifying voices, fostering authentic conversations, and building a global sisterhood. Htbs is more than just a podcast platform, though. It's a movement designed to inspire, empower, and connect women from all walks of life. Htbs was launched on March 8th, 2023, and the main segment was called Your Story. The platform is gearing up to bring you a variety of shows from different female hosts from around the world. The second reason that today is special is because it's International Women's Day, a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. International Women's Day also marks a call to action for accelerating women's equality, and it has been around for over 100 years, just like many of the issues still impacting women's advancement today. So, today we celebrate women around the world as we talk about some of the challenges we face. We'll talk about the opportunities we have and what each of us can do to help change the world. Joining me in the conversation is Anya Vasquez. Energy Coach Anya is your favorite manifestation strategist, helping ambitious souls break subconscious patterns, align their energy, and manifest abundance with clarity. Her mission is to help you stop chasing and start attracting by mastering your own frequency. A fun fact about Anya is that she gave natural birth to her firstborn on the exact date that she said she would. Some powerful energy. We also have Elaine Robinson Beatty. Elaine is a leadership development strategist, speaker, and executive coach committed to supporting organizations build strong, agile leaders that elevate decision-making, strengthen teams, and accelerate business growth. Elaine supports organizations to develop stronger, more confident leaders who don't just manage, but inspire, strategize, and drive measurable business impact. A fun fact about Elaine, she had the pleasure of hosting Rachel Robinson, the wife of Jackie Robinson, to the U.S. Tennis Open. Now, hopefully, we will be joined by NC Ditwane. NC is a dynamic speaker and passionate advocate for living with purpose. With over 20 years of experience mentoring entrepreneurs, she is committed to helping individuals and communities thrive financially. NC believes that empowering the community leads to empowering the nation. Her fun fact is that most people don't know that her favorite meal is mealy meal pap and sour milk. Now, I'm hoping she shows up because I need to know what that is. And last but definitely not least is Katrina Fitton. Katrina is a certified master financial coach, business strategist, and accomplished author. She uses her decade of experience in entrepreneurship to help women entrepreneurs achieve financial independence and success through their businesses. She volunteers at the Domestic Violence Center monthly to teach the women about financial literacy. Katrina's fun fact: she loves to travel the world. Pack your bags, because I'm going with you, Katrina. I'm going to pack my bag. So welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'd like to just get us started right away. I want to jump right in and talk about, from your perspective, what does it mean to be a woman? You know, what does that say to you? What feelings come up when you think about that? So if you would, Katrina, let's start with you. What does it mean to be a woman?
You know what? All I can think about is what does it mean to be a woman is that I think about young girls, right? Young girls and women. We are taught and exposed to so many limiting beliefs when we're smaller. Lots of time we'll say, be small, play small, speak small, be seen, not heard. Don't you speak up, accept whatever they give you, you know. But I've noticed something, that there has been a woman shift. Women are running organizations now. We're building empires. We're winning in government now. I mean, I'm telling you, women are bossing up as entrepreneurs and business owners. So we are now and are soon to be, you know, first generation or second generation multimillionaires now. And we're learning about how to be empowered. We're no longer, you know, feeling like we don't deserve things. I mean, we're walking in our power, and we understand that high energy is the key, right? And we're able to walk in our power. And so that's what it means to be a woman to me, is that we are learning from our past, but we're standing in our future, and we know who we are, and we're ready to conquer the world. So that's what being a woman means to me.
I love that. And, you know, there's a lot of manifestation of that yesterday that I saw. I was at a women's event that was phenomenal, and there were two women on a panel. Each of them were 8-figure income earners. And one of them is in the furniture industry, but it's furniture for commercial buildings. So she looks at companies and corporations. She was like, if you need a sofa, don't call me. But if you need $500,000 worth of furniture, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
And then the other one has a construction company. And you don't see that often. I mean, she leads a construction company. And those two women have all female staff. And I thought that was really powerful. So you're right. There's a shift going on.
Yeah, we're bossing up, honey. We're just like, no, we're not in the kitchen, waiting, taking care of our kids and just waiting on our husband to tell us what to do and how to do, honey. We're like, look, this is what we're doing. We bossing up in the household, and our men are supporting us, you know, and those that are not supporting us, they're just like, look, you better get on board, honey, because the women, I'm telling you, like Beyonce say, look, we rule the world.
I know you've been smiling. How would you add to that conversation? What's it mean to be a woman?
I definitely agree with everything that Katrina said. The only thing that I would like to add is a little bit when it comes to being a woman, you know, it is learning, I think, of at perspective. It's like, true, we can have it all. I always talk about we can have it all. And we can have much more than we think that we can, and we deserve the best. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we were suppressed in a way that didn't come for our benefits, right? But it's like, it's not just from, oh, I want to be equal and I want to, I can, of course, why not? Why can't I like run a construction business? Because why not, right? Like, that's it. But at the same time, I can't be that worker on the floor who's lifting that, I don't know, 100-pound thingy, whatever might that be, right? So, woman really, what my definition is understanding the femininity and understanding the potential that you have. And what Katrina said is, when you're being supported, when you are actually leading. So it's the femininity, it's the magic of our, I'll say, softness and determination, that when you learn how to use it and harness it, as I like to call it, when you turn yourself into a muse, then people follow. But not, and again, a muse when, with grace and owning your power, not because you're weak, not because you're, I don't know, crying and very emotional, and not because of that aspect, but because you understand what your potential is and you know how to use it, then especially men, yes, and then of course crowds of people follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the feminine energy, I think they call it, or the soft life. It's like we can be empowered to do, to accomplish, to achieve, but we also want to do it in a way where it's feminine, right?
Exactly.
We're not bossing and, knocking people down on the way up, right? And pulling people down and trying to make it happen. And we're working so hard, but it's like, you know who you are. You know exactly what your destiny is. You know what your mission is, and you're walking in it. And as you move forward, when the doors are open, that the timing is right. And so you're doing it with ease,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I'm talking about. It's not like you're a masculine, I'm just, I'm running everything. Even if you're single and you have to do all of the things, but you do realize that you are operating in your feminine, so that's powerful.
It's okay
and that's
to be soft. Go ahead, Anya.
And that's something that a lot of women need to like learn, because again, like you go into these businesses and you want to be a boss babe or whatever, that's all fine. But if you don't learn how to kind of change these hats, then a lot of these boss women, yeah, you'll make a lot of money, but you'll be 50 and at home alone.
Exactly.
Because and nobody wants that. I don't care how many tell me, oh, I got all the money, I don't need a man. That is all BS, unfortunately.
That is not good.
Exactly. So learning how to play, and this is like, again, I'll just add on to the definition, is that fact of learning how to balance when you are that boss lady, and when you know that you're running your show and your destiny and you're stepping into your power, but at the same time, you with that femininity running your family.
Yeah. And the balance is the important part. And by the way, if anybody who's listening is one of those 50-year-old women who doesn't have a man, that's what I do. I help you get to it. So just give me a call. But, when we think about it, what we really have to be focused on is the balance. It's not that we do things differently, not differently. It's not that we do different things. We do things differently. So it's not that we can't be all and do all that a man can do. Our approach is different, and balancing the femininity and the strength is so important. And so whether I'm in stilettos or Timberlands, I'm the same person and I'm capable of the same things. And Elaine, I want you to jump in at this point, because you develop women executives, you get them ready for that C-suite. And I know that's got to be an interesting point, because you really need to help that woman find that balance, to develop the leader in her, but authentically, so that she's not coming across as too soft or anything else. So what does it mean to you to be a woman?
Thank you for the question, and good morning, everyone. The first thing that comes to mind is that we are made in God's image.
Yes.
God made us male and female. And so
for a reason.
For a reason. It was intentional. So we were made perfectly. That's the first thing, right? So we don't have to change. We don't have to adapt, because we are made in his image. And with that being said, right, that comes with the fruit of the Spirit as far as I'm concerned, right? So what does it mean to be a woman? It means to be love. It means to be, patient and kind and help me out with here because I'm love, joy, all those things, right?
Appreciated.
All those.
Adored.
Sorry,
All
say
of
that
those
again.
things.
Adored.
Yeah, no. So, so those that's the first thing that comes to mind. And back to your question, Linda, it is so important for us to be exactly who we were made to be because God didn't make a mistake. He did not make a mistake. So I don't know about you, but when I was raised in my early management years, I tried to get out there and do what they told me to do, right? Which was assimilate, do this, do that. Well, who were my bosses? Older white men, right? That was not working. That was not working for them, and it wasn't working for me, right? So it took me a while, and I can tell the story a little later, but it took me a while to figure out how to become authentically me. So yes, Linda, I have created this actually a quiz. So, and I call it, this is the concept that I hope you all will grab a hold on, our femme leadership persona. I
Love
believe,
it.
I believe we all have a leadership persona. And my femme leadership persona, meaning what is the thing that you lead with, is resilience, right? Is resilience. Some of us are connectors, right? Some of us are those who think with strategically, right? So there are different ways that we lead and we lead authentically.
Yes, I love
I
it. I love
absolutely
it.
love it.
I love
And I
that.
like that fem leadership because you're right. I mean, hopefully you're going to trademark that phrase or something because I think it is really important. And that's kind of how we do it. Resilience is one of those words where you can't be a woman and not be
See?
resilient. It goes with the
And
packaging. You will
she
not
used the
survive.
key word authenticity.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. And unfortunately, there's so many of us running around living a lie. We are not walking in who we are authentically, not on purpose, not to be deceptive, but because we don't know who that person is. We spend so much time responding and reacting based on old messages that we heard either growing up or in previous relationships or in previous jobs, so that now we are almost on autopilot. And you really have to take time to step back and figure out who am I and what do I want? Who do I want to be? One of the great things about this time that we're going through right now is that we are being forced to do that because at least in the U.S., with everything that is happening with the eradication of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and women's rights going away, and all of the things that are happening to women right now, we have got to get back in touch with who are we, what do I want, and how can I get it for myself. One of the things I like about this Heart Talk Between Sisters platform is we're bringing together women who can collaborate because we've got to build some things for ourselves. We can no longer depend, not that we ever really could, but we can no longer depend on the structures that already exist because they're showing us they don't care about women, not at all. And so even the meeting that I attended yesterday, I don't know if this is fact, I haven't seen it, but one of the women spoke up and said that as part of what's being proposed, largely out of Project 2025, is that women will not be able to vote if they don't have the permission of their husbands. I mean, we are going centuries
Oh my
back
goodness.
if some of those things are actually being thought about. So yeah, resilience, authenticity, those are two of the things that women are going to have to absorb, internalize, and really rely on because we're going to have to do it for ourselves.
And
Linda,
okay, sorry, go.
yeah, I'm also reminded that I think one way for us to get back to who we really are, because as Katrina said, from early on, we're fed these messages. And so we've been told to be something other than we are, right? So we were never embraced. Well, no, I shouldn't say we were never. Many of us were not embraced, right, to to become to
Mhm.
become who we were created to be. So, in order to get back to that, I think that starts with self-reflection, which means we have to stop, be still, be quiet, and I also think be alone so that we can be, right, receptors, right, from the spirit and really become who we were created to be.
Elaine, it's funny she said that right now. My kids and my husband just left an hour ago, and I got like 3 days for myself. Like,
Gonna run through the
yes.
house with scissors. That is wonderful. That alone time. You know, one of the things, the challenges I have with that is even when I'm alone, I can't get out of my own head. I've got to stop thinking and
Ooh.
truly be quiet. I've got to be quiet. There's a difference between being alone and being quiet. And Elaine said both of them. And that's so true. You can be alone and still feel like there's a party going on if there are all kinds of conversations taking place inside your head. I've got to be better about that. And I know when I get to you in a minute, Anya, I know you can tell us some stuff that will help with that. Anya kind of on a friendly basis coaches me on the side with some of the energy stuff. And I will say that she's spot on with the things that she's been telling me. But Elaine, I want to stay where you are for a minute because what I want to know, what are you seeing? What shifts are you seeing in women leaders as you're working with them or as you're going in to talk to them about the leadership development process? Given where we are today with some of the challenges we're facing, how has it made your work a little bit different?
Well, first of all, what I am seeing is I am seeing a lot more anxiety. I am seeing a lot more um, uh, nervousness and stress, right? So, that's all increasing.
Well, good. That means I'm
And
not alone. Go ahead.
no, you're not. You're absolutely not. And I think I was telling you earlier too that I was at a conference, and one of the things that I just wanted to say this from the outset for all of us, right? We all have challenges. And something that I heard yesterday, and I tell you, when she said it, it just came over me. This is not the first time we've been here. Okay. Our ancestors had it worse.
Mhm.
And so let us remember that everything is cyclical. And so we must remember who we are. So I think that, you asked me, how is it changing? My message to my clients will continue to be who you are. Stay focused, right? My company is called Women of Vision. It is important, Linda, for you to hold on to your vision, for you to hold on to your vision, Katrina, for you to hold on to your vision, Anya, and go forward no matter what, right? So that's my message. Get quiet, get still, get clear about your purpose, get clear about your vision, and have support, right? All of us can support you. You can support us, Katrina. You can support us, right? Linda, get support. We cannot do this alone. That's the main message. Do
Yeah.
not do this alone.
Yeah, and
Don't
that's
do
why
it
all of us
alone.
do mindset work in some way, shape, or form, because where the mind goes, the body follows. And so you've got to get your mind right in order to get your behaviors right. So Anya, tell us a little bit about the processes that you use, because like I said, some of the conversations we've had have been powerful. They're not always nice to hear. Sometimes when somebody tells you what you need to do, you don't want to hear it, but it's real. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, so everybody, and you both just said it, right? It's true. Mind over the body, for sure, right? But I take it deeper because there's too many people talking about the mindset, but the mindset also needs to be fueled. Like for you to have the consistency, the determination, the grit of you to continue and go and go, I always go back to you need energy. If you don't have energy, I think I've said that to you before, Linda. I have this analogy where you have this fancy car, right? Like you got the nice rims and all the nice interiors and it's, shining on the outside, whatever. But that car doesn't work if you don't put gas into it, right? And a lot of times we're focusing on the exterior and all that stuff that we need to make pretty, but we need to maintain this car. Like you need to get the oil checked. You need to, again, put good gas in and so on and so on. So again, even though a lot of people are now talking about when it comes to mindset, there's something that it's deeper, which is the spirit, which is you, the connection with, God that Elaine kind of started off. And I was just kind of wanting to connect this, go like a little circle, is how interested, right? The universe, God, whatever you want it, kind of created it in a shape where we are originally prone to serve. Kids, you know how it is. You got kids and all of a sudden you're a slave, right? And before you know, 10, 12 years go by and you haven't done anything for yourself, for example. So this is like our nature in a way. And the potential and the magic of, fully your potential and what, Elaine's saying, authenticity and, when you're really like stepping into your power is not being against that. I'm not going to say be against this. Of course not. This is, but at the same time, learning how to balance, which means that you know how to serve, but the most difficult thing for women is going to be to now prioritize yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? How much, like for the kids, you're going to do everything for the kids. Maybe for the husband before, and then the kids come and it gets complicated. But I always say, like, women, we are like the pillars of the family. And if you do not know how to invest in yourself properly, again, I'll speak now from, the physical perspective, from the mindset perspective, from the spiritual, energetic, whatever perspective, then when you do all those three, then again, men, as I said previously, they will follow and they will move mountains because they are just, I don't know, like inspired. They're just like, yes, and they're simple and they just go. That's their job, but you need to, again, emotionally, spiritually get them on that level that there's nothing that they cannot do. That's why they say, right, behind every great man, there's a woman, because that's the motivation. And then men just drive it, right? But again, learning in this sense, how to prioritize yourself and understand that when you invest in yourself, let's say as a mother, as a wife, right, as a part of this unity, then your kids and your husband, they all get the benefits. And that's where I like to talk a lot about, because again, it's always about the kids, and then you forget about yourself and your passion and your authenticity, and you just give. And of course, at the end, you're angry and upset and lost with yourself. But learning how to do that properly, and then literally always in a proper way. That doesn't mean, disclaimer, in a selfish way. Now it's just me, and, forget about the kids and no, but learning how to prioritize yourselves, because then, quote unquote, from that fuel cup, right? The full cup, you're able to give more, right? That's where I like to, discuss that things a lot.
Yeah.
Anya,
and
thank
I like
you
that because when you talked about it and you talked about, where the woman's energy goes, the man follows. That is so true, which is why when you think about it, in most societies, we are the keepers of the family. We're the keepers of the culture. We're the keepers of the nation. Everything rests on a woman. It's a lot of responsibility, and self-care is a verb. Self-care is not just about go have a nice cup of tea and relax. No, what are you actively doing to take care of yourself? Because Anya is in the Dominican Republic. Got to write that time. Anya's in the Dominican Republic. And so she and I have never met face to face. All of our communications are digital communications, but I love her spirit. And whether, we've talked about possibly working together, doing things together, whether that happens or not, I feel like I've got a friend in Anya. So one of the things when she was talking to me about the energy, it's like, okay, I know it to be true, but I hadn't really taken it to heart. So I went to have a sound bath experience. That was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. When I tell you that it recalibrated me, Anya talks about frequencies a lot when she's, doing her workshops and things. It put me back on my frequency to operate. I had more energy. I felt lighter. My mood was better. There was more joy is something that really should never leave, but the happiness was sort of back. And so it's something that I know I will do periodically. I don't think I'm at that place of, I'm going to go for a sound bath once a month. I'm not there yet, but I will probably go a few times a year because it's important to get everything lined up. And it's sort of like You know, we go to the doctor, the dentist, you go to the eye doctor. We do all of those things to make sure everything is right. Some people go to the chiropractor, get realigned, but we do not do anything to realign our energy. And I just found that that was so helpful, so beneficial. Elaine, I think you were getting ready to say something as well.
Yeah, but I don't, you took me into another place. One of the things that I think is really important when you talk about energy for me is being around other women. Oh my goodness. It's a reset for me. It is an absolute reset for me. I'm married now.
If their energy is right. Because there's some women that will drain you and take
no.
If their energy is right, it's good to be around
them. They don't even enter my orbit. I have a shield up. Okay. No, absolutely. No, that's very important.
Yeah.
And so what I was getting ready to say is that I'm married 12 years and so Saturdays is really considered my Sabbath. And I say that to say that Saturday mornings when I was single, I would spend on the phone with my girlfriends, right? And we would catch up and we'd have coffee and we'd laugh. You know, we might talk about, you know, some insights that we might have gotten, spiritual insights, whatever. But it was just that time. And absolutely, positively, not an opportunity for me to pour out, but to receive, right? To be refilled. And so, yeah, I only have girlfriends that I laugh with. I mean, my girlfriends, right? That I laugh with, that, you know, where we cheer each other on, where we're feeding one another. That energy is powerful. And thank you, Anya, for saying that, because it is about energy. And there are energy drainers. Absolutely, you know, for sure. For sure. And we need to protect ourselves with that. Oh, I know what I was going to say. You were talking about a self-care. I remember when I started coaching, I became an extreme self-care coach, because I came from a place of burnout. And so I know that the call in my life and part of my purpose is to support leaders from burning out. In fact, the divine message I got was, make sure they finish before they faint. Mm-hmm. Make sure they finish before they faint. And that meaning leadership. And so I am sold out for my sisters because, as you were saying, Anya, we forget about ourselves, and then we're last on the list. And so, to your point again, Linda, I am telling my executives, I am telling my clients, you must put yourself first. It is not selfish, right? It is life. It is life.
Yeah. Even financially, Katrina, when you think about everything that's going on today for women, what advice do you have for us? Like when it comes to finances, you know, yesterday, again, at that event, there was a woman who talked about when you're putting your money aside, her advice was put your profit aside first, you know, put that aside before you start looking to other things. And I thought that was interesting. I never really heard anybody talk about it from that standpoint before, but I'm just curious now in today's world with all that's going on, what kind of financial suggestions would you have for women?
Yeah, so we did my real good friend, you guys know, Miss Angeline Harris, we have an IG Live that we do every Wednesday, and we did an episode on how you can prepare and get ready for a pending economic turndown. And during that episode, we talked about some of the key things that in the event that something would take place, obviously the best thing to do is what? Prepare, right? Prepare and prevention. Right. And, you know, obviously, while we're talking about P's, I can talk about profit. So let's talk about prepare, prevention, and profit.
So, no, you said prayer too. So I'm going to throw that in there.
And put prayer in there too. There you go. There go another one. Okay. That we can do P's today. But seriously, prepare, meaning that it's just like we have insurance, right? We have insurance for a reason. A lot of times people are like, well, I don't want to do insurance because nothing has happened. No, that's not what it's all about. It's about being ready in the event some extenuating circumstance happen. And so how can we prepare for a potential economic turn down or a potential, something that you need an insurance policy for, right? And so from an economic financial standpoint, my thought is you want to right now secure funding, meaning that you want to have money set aside in the event that something takes place that you are prepared and you already know, obviously, I'm considered one of the financial experts, but the gurus, they always say you want to put what? 3 to 6 months minimum of expenses aside, right? And you want to not only just put those aside in just a regular bank account, but you want to put that in a high yield savings account, something that's liquid that you can get to quickly, right? In the event that you have that. And I'm going to add this in there. You might want to put aside some cash.
Yeah, I was about to no bank. No, just
Yeah.
That's
closet.
Because, I didn't know until maybe in the last few years that even though stuff is secured, there's a cap on how much they give back to you. What is it? What's the organization? The
FDIC.
Yes, FDIC. Thank you. There's a cap on how much. And so you may have lost $50,000, but you're not getting $50,000 back when the government bails.
Yeah, if you go to the bank and you ask for your $200,000, or you want to go and take out a certain amount, you have to warn them. You have to call them, let them know I'm fixing to come up there and I'm removing all of my money, out of that bank. And because if you go up there and they'll be like, ma'am, we don't have that in our safe. Like what? No.
And they'll do everything to prevent you don't do it.
Exactly. And they're going to tell you you can do this, you can do this. They're going to have, but yes. So in preparation, you want to put aside some cash, get you a nice little safe, and put aside a certain nominal amount of cash, to the tune of probably 4 figures, just in case, okay, I'm going to tell the story. And that is this: the other day, in my home here, I usually in my home office here at home, and the lights went out, right? And I'm just like, why is the lights out? Because all of our lighting is underground here in my community, and so we was like, that's weird because the lights has never gone out, and it wasn't storming, okay. And so we're like, that's weird. So my husband was here. And so we're walking around and we was like, I looked at my phone. It had 45% on it. My husband looked at his phone. His had 25% on. I said, well, let me go to my laptop. I went to my laptop. I hadn't plugged it in. I went to my iPad. I hadn't plugged it in. It had no charge. And I was like, my business is online. All of my products, my platforms, my softwares, my everything is online. And I said, this is a situation. And so that's where you have to have what they call, emergency preparedness plan in your business. In the event, how you do a SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. What are the threats to your business? And this is how you need to be prepared. It's called a crisis management plan. Put something together. Say, in the event XYZ happens, what do you do? What is your backup plan? What are the processes and procedures you want to do in the event that happen? And so not only do you want to put your money aside, but you want to make sure you have what they call, some people are real gurus around, get you some food. You make sure you have all the necessities in the tools, all the packing. You need to have a radio. You need to have, solar. You need to have all these things in case the electrical grid goes down. And so I'm saying to the audience that is listening here today, you really want to make sure that you are prepared for a pending, not only economic turn down, but a potential energy from a light source, internet source, turn down, and making sure that you're doing those things. And, some people say you have a garden, you know what I'm saying? You are putting aside that toilet paper. We don't forget, right? We only like 3-4 years, we're 4 years removed from that incident that happened that changed the world. And so I want us here in the audience to make sure that we are prepared for any emergency to happen, to make sure that your family is taken care of. And, that's the prevention, making sure that you are prevented from your family not having a hunger problem, not having an energy problem, physically, lights. You might want to consider getting you a generator. You may want to consider these type of, living off the grid type of lifestyle, because that's going to help you to be an all around preparedness for what we're going through here in the States. And I'll let someone else talk about the prayer, and the third one was profit. Oh, yes, profit. So it's a concept called profit first. And what that means is this: you guys who are business owners, there are 4 accounts that every business owner should have when they're getting money, because profit is very important. Some people just focus on revenue in their business, but I always say you need to be focused on profit, because you can have a whole lot of revenue in your business, but them expenses, somebody say that part.
That part.
Those expenses you can get. People always talk about, oh, I had a $10,000 month, I had a $10,000 day, and you making all this income, but they ain't talking about them expenses, because you may be in the negative, if you have a lot of overhead, that part. Yeah. So my thought is you want to have those 4 accounts, and I'll tell you what they are. I'm gonna try to say them off the top of my head. You want to have one account, what is called a expense account, right? Where all of your revenue is going in this account, and all of your expenses are going to come out of that account. It's kind of how your bills are paid, right? You have that account where you have income going in there, and you got all your expenses that are coming out of that account. Okay. And then you want to have an account that's called a tax account. Mm-hmm. You want to have, an account where you're setting aside, that money, because I'm telling you what, if you don't set aside that money for Uncle Sam, I'm telling you what, you're going to be in trouble. You have to set aside your money for taxes so that you don't have to worry about it at the last minute and you're not surprised. Especially, I'm a very strong recommendation of making sure you're doing tax strategy as well. Okay. You want to be doing that as well. But that's one of the accounts you want to have is an operations account. You want to have a tax account. You want to have a investment account. Okay. You want to make sure that you have an account set aside where you are investing into your business. You have money set aside to invest into yourself, self-development, coaching, all of those things. You want to have money set aside for that. And obviously, you want to have money set aside for you. It's like the owner's pay. You want to make sure you're paying yourself. Pay yourself, so those are the 4. And I'm going to add an extra bonus one, and that is savings, right? Money set aside for an emergency, for anything that could happen, that you can, be able to invest in your business any way you want to do it, or buy property or whatever. So, but those are this called kind of like the profit first method. There are a lot of experts out there who are profit. I had a lady come speak to my community who's a certified profit first, accountant. And so that is what you want in your business so that you can always make sure that you're profitable.
Katrina, I
wrote those down myself, and I never thought about that 5th one. On the personal side, I have a personal savings account. I never thought about a business savings account.
Yes, a business. All my businesses have savings accounts. I set aside a certain percentage, and I didn't talk about the profit first. If you read the book, it's a book. You can actually go on Audible or Amazon and buy the book. Is Profit First. I can't recall the guy's name off the top of my head, but you want to make sure that you're putting aside that money, because what happens is that you'll always be profitable because you have money set aside to be able to use towards whatever it is that you're trying to do in your business.
Katrina, I want to pick up on something you said because it was true for me this year, and you all might have. Was it this year? No, last year, the end of last year. Preparedness.
Hmm.
In our businesses, it did not occur to me last year until Helene hit. Okay. 90, I did not realize
Hurricane.
that, yes, Hurricane Helene. I did not realize that 90% of my income was coming from one place. 90% of my income, my clients are still in Asheville, North Carolina. Well, you all know they got cremated. Okay, they got cremated. And here I am. I had lived there for 13 years. I'm walking around calling everybody, tears falling out of my eyes, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, is this person okay? Is this person okay? 2 days later, I'm saying to myself, are you okay? Right? I'm thinking, I'm over here in Georgia. Okay. I'm thinking, where am I going to get paid? Oh God. Oh, help me. Right? The tears are falling out of my eyes. Like, am I going to get paid? The point being, we must diversify our income. We must make
Yes.
sure we have different sources of income, different income streams, all right? So we can't have, and we've heard that before, we can't have all our eggs in one basket.
Yes, can I add something to that as well? And that is it, obviously as the CEO of New Day for You Financial, that's what we do. We help businesses to make sure that they are prepared. Don't come getting funding and money when you're on dire straits necessarily. You want to already have the funding set aside, so in the event that there is an emergency, Helene, that happens, it's like, no problem. Let's shift. Okay, we got money here. We can go ahead and we can make it through a certain time period, but you want to make sure that you are prepared for your business. Have lines of credit set aside, have loans set aside, you want to make sure that you have assets that you can quickly liquidate. You want to diversify in your stock portfolio. Make sure it's not all in right now. If all of your stocks was in one basket in one category, you're hurting. Well, everybody hurting right now, but you're hurting, so you want to make sure that you are cleanly, diversified in all of your life, that you're not just actually considering just one income stream. You want to make sure that you're not just, having one bank account only and one bank only. Diversify your banks. I mean, it's just all of the things. You just want to really be prepared, and you want to be able to prevent you to really have to, have like dire straight, being put outside because, something happened in the world. So, yeah. And let people know, your emergency contacts, all of those things, if something happened, you want to make sure that they understand, what to do in the event of
Exactly.
an emergency.
You still need to have that paper backup because, like you said, if you live with everything in your phone or in your computer and you lose power and you're not charged, you're out of luck. You're out of luck. I ordered when the woman talked about profit first. Let me tell you, mine is coming today, and the author is Mike, and I don't know how to say his last name.
Yes,
Owitz.
that's
I will
him.
spell it Michaelowicz. Maybe we can get that in the chat. First name is Mike. Those of you, I know some of you are listening on a radio platform, but this will also be available on YouTube. So you might want to check the chat. First name is Mike. Last name is Michaelowicz. Another woman also mentioned the book Traction. She said, as a
One
businesswoman,
too.
And really. So let me tell you about Traction. That's another one I ordered. When she said it yesterday, pulled my phone out. It will be here today. Traction is by, let me get the whole thing up. Come on, blow up for me. The full name of it is Traction. Okay, things are going a little slow. Get a grip on your business. Traction, get a grip on your business. And the author of that one is Gino Wickman, Wickman, Gino Wickman. So yeah, it's important when we get a good nugget, we need to share it because as women, we're all going to rise or fall together. So we definitely need to share it. So what I want to do is I want to shift gears a little bit and I want us to talk about celebrating because again, with International Women's Day, we need to be celebrating ourselves and celebrating women. And I'm interested in knowing what do each of you do to celebrate yourself? Now, I'll be the first to admit that I have not been doing a good job of that. And one of my coaches has been commenting on the fact that I need to do better. My approach pretty much is if I set a goal and I achieve that goal, I move on to the next one. I don't celebrate it because I feel like, well, that's what I was supposed to do. I did what I was supposed to do, check it off, go to the next one. So she is really on me to make sure that I do the celebrations, not only to do an activity, but also verbally to say something in celebration of myself. I really don't have a good formula worked out in terms of what I will do that is celebrating because there are a lot of things that I do on a regular basis anyway. I love to travel. I am always on the road somewhere. So taking a trip doesn't necessarily feel like a celebration. You know, my husband and I like to go out to eat or to go listen to music or to go. So I have to find what's going to be that special thing that Linda does to celebrate Linda. But I'm curious, maybe you guys can help me out. What are some things that you do to celebrate yourself?
Well, Linda, we have the same coach, okay? And yes, she's been working on me too. And I would like to say that as I really meditated on what she was suggesting, that it requires, and I'm going to go back to something I said earlier, it requires us to slow down. It requires us to stop first and give space, right? Give space so that we can really fully be present about that accomplishment that we had.
Yeah.
And again, back to something I said earlier, this is why I love my girlfriends. I make sure I have girlfriends that I can say, this is what I did. Okay. And I said I wasn't going to do this. I told my husband this. Can I share something very exciting with you all?
Please.
My book is now live.
Ah, congratulations.
Sis, you earned it.
Yes.
Sis,
Yes.
you
I
earned
love
it.
that title. Yeah.
Yes. So you all are hearing it here first. It went live yesterday, so you can actually buy it on Amazon.
Right.
And I am celebrating. So I don't know about you all. I used to be a cheerleader. So when I do this, it's like shaking my pom-poms. So that's my celebration.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on that. I love that. And
Congratulations.
one of the things that I had to come to grips with is the fact that when we don't celebrate, what is it saying about us? And one of the things that I've been learning is it's saying that we don't think we deserve it. And I think
Mhm.
that's important for women to hear. It's hard to hear, but you can't grow without a little bit of pain. And so, yeah, I think we have to, again, we talked earlier about, mindset and mindset shifts and those kinds of things, being authentic. What are those limiting beliefs that you have when you don't take time to celebrate somewhere in your subconscious mind, you don't believe that you are worth it. And that's why you don't do it. So Elaine, we're going to have to help each other with that because we say we're worth it. We feel like we're worth it, but somewhere running on autopilot is that message. So when we overcome that, I think the celebrations will be easier and more natural for us to do.
Absolutely. And I think again, for me, it's something that I am putting into my conversations with everyone. You get on the phone and women, right? We get on, okay, what are we doing? Let's get to work. And I always step back and say, so how are you doing? What's going on? Right? What's new? And just again, make time and space for someone to share, right, what is happening. Because I
And
love
to recognize that
celebrating.
it's not bragging. Again, as women, most of us were socialized to believe you don't brag about yourself, you don't talk about it. So I am glad that you broke out of that mold and told us about the book. That's not bragging. You're just making a statement, you know. And again, the bragging is on somebody else. That's their judgment of what you just did. But we should not let other people's judgments interfere with our processes. If you
Hmm.
have something to celebrate, share it. So that's really
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Can I add to that? So this is something that I do, you guys, intentionally. And I have, like you, Linda, I have not always been, someone who did celebrate myself because you look, I'm just trying to, rule the world and celebrate others, right? I'm always like, lifting other people's up. Me, it's like, okay, keep on moving. I accomplished that and keep on moving, right? But one thing that in our community, and I was talking to our ladies in our community, we just opened up a school community called She's Fully Funded. And literally, one of the things that is a part of our commitment statement is that we celebrate wins daily. And so I am intentional about celebrating wins daily. And it's a cadence within my team as well. So when we get on a call,
That's
the
nice.
first thing we talk about, so let's talk about what was your win yesterday? And we find what that win is. Just like being, what are you grateful for daily? That's another one of the things I do. What are you grateful for today? And celebrate that. We celebrate milestones in our life. We celebrate, anything that has happened, because when you are intentional about celebrating daily, what happens is this, just like the Pastor Mike Jones, I don't know if y'all familiar with that song. It says, all I do is win.
Yeah.
When you win, I win. All I do is win. And so that what happens is that all of a sudden, when you keep celebrating wins, it's like wins start showing up in your life. And so
That's called manifestation. Yes.
there you go.
That's where I want to like piggyback on what you're telling now.
That's it. It's like when
I knew it was burning inside of her because I can hear her telling me those things. Good.
Yes, and it's true and it's real. I mean, because I am intentional about winning. I don't care if I have a day that's less wins. It's like a day, from, as you say, from hell. But I'm gonna find a silver lining in that. I'm gonna find a win. It's like, oh wow, I actually was able to go to sleep last night. It was a win, and I really appreciate it because I had a hard day that was very high anxiety. And so I find myself like, look, I'm going to stay in my happy place. That's a win. And so I find a win every day. I'm very intentional about it. Everybody around me and my team, they know, okay, let's talk about wins. So that way we can always find some win. And I think that if we celebrate ourselves and we are vocal about celebrating, that's why it was important that Elaine said that. You want to be vocal because that's the mindset and that shift that we have to get from. If we have to shift from, we're playing small, we're hiding behind it. Don't let people know you're braggadocious, you're being, boastful and all of that kind of stuff. No, you have to tell people what your wins are, because guess what? It encourages them.
Yeah.
And not only that, they know it's possible.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
It's the
That's right.
evidence.
That's right.
Anya, talk to us about manifestations. I mean, anybody who can manifest, this is the day that I want to have my baby and to have the baby on that day. Talk to us about manifestations.
I mean, like Katrina already said it. It's just daily celebrating. I feel like it's this idea of like I have to do this and then I achieve this and now I can celebrate. That's such a BS.
No.
And then and basically, if I connect it with manifestation, this is basically what gets us in this modern rat race, because everybody's still unfortunately living modern slavery, right? So what is it? You're working for money so that you have money so that you can then do whatever you want, or you can travel, or you can buy yourself freedom, right? So when you're in this loop, you're consistently waiting for something. You're waiting for that money, waiting for the weekend, waiting for the summer, waiting for whatever you're waiting, which means that if I go back to now gratitude, or I prefer calling it appreciation, you don't really appreciate anything because you're like consistently in this, like, I need, oh, I can't wait for that to happen. So you're not in the present. You're connecting with, reality that's not even true yet, which means that in an energy world, that is not alignment, that it's not positivity, but it's actually negativity. So again, people are lost in this, vicious loop, I guess we can call it, of something when it's Saturday, and when I get that client, and when this happens, and when I get that 10K a month, and you're always chasing. And of course you're going to get exhausted. Of course you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're going to be, what's the popular American expression that you were talking about earlier, that everybody is not exhausted, but yeah, like when you get in burnout, that's what I want to say. See, the burnout, everybody's in burnout because they're chasing things they don't control. They're chasing the future that you have nothing with the future, literally. The only thing that you have control of is right here, right now. So if this right here, right now is me taking a shower, or me being on the computer, or me drinking coffee, then I am celebrating me drinking coffee. Because if I go really deep, there's people who can't afford coffee. There's people who can't drink coffee. There's people who don't have the sun, or they're living somewhere else, or whatever. So it literally every day of every moment of your day, you have an opportunity to celebrate that. And again, that's emotion, that's the feeling, that's the frequency. And when you're in that frequency consistently, then of course you're going to attract more of that. So, like that's the basics of manifestation. So again, it doesn't like have to be, oh, I got to have those 5 clients and then I'm going to celebrate. So the funny thing is, and I'll tell you, because you asked me, like, how do you celebrate? When me and my husband, for example, we got, stuff to do. We all both run businesses, and it slows down for us. When it slows down, that's when we go celebrate, and we'll be like, you know what, let's just take 3 days off. And that's why my kids left, and they went to our vacant house where they're gonna be by the pool and do whatever, and even though it seems like I'm working and they're celebrating, I am celebrating, girls. I am like so celebrating. I am like peace and quiet, and I don't have to serve anybody. Oh my God, this is the peak of
Yes.
So I am so going to celebrate doing nothing or doing work, whatever it's going to be. I don't even know what's going to be. But it's so interesting. So my personal experience with energy and manifestation, I will go somewhere. I will relax into my femininity. I am going to enjoy. I am going to like, you know what? I'll deal with this issue, whatever, on Monday. And as soon as I get into this amazing energetic space, I promise you, the money starts dropping into my account. I was like, okay, money, somebody transferred. Oh, this happened. And I'm just like, I'm not doing stuff. Because we have this idea of, I got to hustle, I got to do everything, I got to ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And that's not the frequency of money. And money, by the way, is just frequency. So when you learn how the money frequency goes, then you never have a lack of it. And money is attracted to easy, playful, light frequency. So again, like I'll have a bad day. Like tomorrow, for example, I'm going to all-inclusive resort. I'm just going to go there and I'm just going to be like, I'll lay here by the pool, probably for like 6 hours, and I'll just sip on my, passion fruit juice, whatever. And, and that's it. And I'll enjoy and look at the birds and those moments. So that's why I always say, like, this is an advice for you and anybody who's listening. When you wake up and let's say you had a bad morning start, you feel like you're not right, like something's up. Maybe you had a bad starting with the husband, with the kids, whatever. But as long as you feel like you're not at 100, you're not in that, wow, like I'm happy, today's going to be awesome day. If you're not there, then do something that's first going to get you there, no matter how many tasks you have. I remember this one specific day where again, maybe it was my period or whatever, but it was like, I was like, you know what? Cancel all my plans, all my tasks. I don't care. I went to lay by my pool I lay there, but that's the thing. I lay there for like maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, but because that was so amazing and I was sunbathing and that was just so nice for me, I switched that energy in, like I said, in an hour. And that doesn't mean, oh, like I'm not productive today and now I'm not going to do anything and I'm just lazy. But because I switched that energy, I was able to do everything that I wanted to do at the beginning anyway, later, but I did it faster and I did it better.
There
we go.
Thank you.
Finally got off my foot. You know, she was stepping on my foot the whole time she was talking about that. You finally got off my foot, and I am going to work with Anya. I am, because I need what she has. All right, so this has been a wonderful conversation. I don't want to hold us up any longer, but what I want you to do, if there's anything that you want to leave with people, a thought, a reminder, a request, you want to tell them more about what you do, I'm going to invite you to do that and tell people how they can contact you. So I'm going to go in alphabetical order. So Anya, if you would go first, please.
Well, I basically, with the thought that I wanted, I kind of just left you off with, right? That's the thought.
That's where I'm starting with you.
All right. That's where the only thing that I'll add on is if anybody who might be listening and sees that you are, let's say, call it stuck somewhere, you know, like you feel like, oh, why is not happening? Why something's stopping me? Maybe I can't do it. Like you can feel it. You can't like maybe pinpoint it, but you can feel it. Then just, reach out to me. I always give like this, I call it as a destiny blueprint reading, which is basically a kind of look in your soul, and I can kind of see where your vicious circles are, because everybody has their own patterns. But if you're not aware of your patterns, then you can't do anything about them, because you're just, winging at it. So if you want to more strategize and have more awareness than you now, you can reach out to me. And then, of course, I'm just going to help you look at that so that you will feel a bit more, okay, now I know what my next step is. So, I'll leave you off with that. So who's next? Elaine. Oh, and contact me anywhere that you want, any social media. I am Energy Coach Anya. So anywhere, Energy Coach Anya. That's simple.
Thank you. And I will say, she did that destiny blueprint for me. She was so spot on, even to the point of ailments in your body or where you feel stress and those sorts of things. It was amazing. So thank you. All right, Miss Elaine.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda, for this opportunity. And Anya, I'm going to follow right behind you and say, with the energy that we have, it's important for us to make sure that we are not going forward alone, that we are in community, that we have support systems. For some reason, as women, we think we're supposed to do it all alone, and particularly women of color. And that has been our burden. That has been our burden. So I want to say to you all, sis, you have earned it. You've earned the right to be supported. You've earned the right to be as big as you were born and created to be. So again, and let me go back to my first statement. We were created in God's image perfectly, right? We are fearlessly and wonderfully made. We are perfect. So we do not have to accept the words that people put on us. Let us take time, self-reflect, and then walk out the vision and the purpose that we have been created for. My name is Elaine Robinson Beatty. You can contact me at Elaine Speaking or info@Elaine Speaking. I'm on LinkedIn, Elaine Robinson Beatty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Katrina.
Yes, you know what? I mean, this has been so wonderful. I love each and every one of you guys, just sharing of yourself and me having the opportunity to share as well. It has been truly a blessing. But my purpose and mission, with my company, New Day for You Financial, which is, you can Google newdayforyoufinancial.com, newdayforyoufinancial.co. We help normalize women being able to take money as being a block off the table. We should normalize making money and executing more. We only need money, you guys, the currency of money and the frequency of money is only to be used to fuel a purpose. It's like a means to an end, you know, it's just a way to transfer, right? And so obviously, in order for you to do some of the things and to accomplish some of the goals in your life, you may need money. And so that's the gap that we feel. We help you to get credit, loans, access to funds, whether it be for profit or nonprofit. We are here to help you. SBA loans, equipment loans, you know, HELOC loans, whatever it is that you need. I mean, Elaine is one of my clients. She during that time of, you know, Hurricane Elaine, she reached out and we were able to close a gap. And so, and now she's prepared for what is to come in the future. And so that's what we do. We can be reached also on Instagram. I am Money Coach Katrina Fitton on Instagram, as well as the Funding Machine. New Day for You Financial is on LinkedIn. We're on all the platforms, honey. You know, YouTube, all of the things. But yes, I am here to help you. If you're a business owner, and you have clients and you have a high ticket offer, and you need loan options for them or money to help them to afford your offers, we help. We are funding partners that we help to fund your clients as well. And so we're here, like we say, our slogan is where dreams get funded. So we're helping people to fulfill their dreams and making sure they have the finances in order to do that. So thank you for listening today. Thank you, Linda, for inviting me today. My name is Katrina Fitton, better known as the Funding Queen.
All right. I absolutely love that. And I love each and every one of you. And I don't use that loosely. I really do. I've gotten to know a piece of your heart, a piece of your spirit, and it touches me. So I thank you for being a part of my life and for pouring into me. And hopefully there's an exchange that takes place so that it's not just one way with me receiving, but I like to be able to give as well. I want to close by just reminding people, if you feel like nothing's wrong, but something's just not quite right, you're walking out of integrity. You are not walking in integrity is a better way to say that. And so I want to make sure that people understand that when we have moments around things, like if you're feeling despair, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, that's an indicator that something is out of alignment. And many times we don't know what it is, but it will go back to some of those messages you received early in life. The way you handle money has a lot to do with the way your family handled money. Were they saying things like money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that, or you need to wait till I get paid? Those things give you a message of lack, not abundance. If people talk about things that you as a girl or a woman, you know, can or cannot do because of who you are, those are things that are going to go against your leadership abilities, because you're going to feel as if you're limited by your gender to what you can do or how high you can rise. So again, when you do get the energy aligned, when you are operating on the proper frequencies, you're able to operate in full authenticity of who you are. Part of the piece that I bring to that puzzle is helping you get clear on what are those subconscious messages, helping them become conscious so that you're aware of what they are and we can bust them wide open. Stop believing that and let's replace that with something more positive. We all have things that we don't know. You know the saying, you don't know what you don't know? You often need a coach to come along and help make that clear for you. And I am the coach that does that for you. So I would love an opportunity to work with any woman who is listening and feels like life's just not quite what I thought it would be at this point, or I'm not doing or having those things. Let's talk. Let's just see if we're a fit. I also want to remind people to listen in and support the programming from Heart Talk Between Sisters. As I mentioned in the beginning, Htbs is regenerating. So in about a month, you're going to see a new menu of programs and programming. You're going to see new hosts. And I'm hoping, particularly if this message got through to you today, then you can expect similar messages in the future. So again, I am Dr. Linda Bing. You can reach me on all social media as the Dr. Linda, and doctor is just DR, the Dr. Linda. And if you want to email me, it's Dr. Linda, again, DR Linda at turningpointlg.com. It's been a pleasure. And so on behalf of me, HTBS, and all of my guests today, have a wonderful day, and bye for now.
Heart Talk Between Sisters radio broadcast. Tune in to a heartwarming and enlightening radio experience like no other. Join us on a journey of love, laughter, and lifelong connections as we explore the unique bond between sisters. Our broadcast is a celebration of sisterhood, offering a safe space for candid conversations, shared memories, and inspiring stories that touch the soul. Whether you're a sister yourself or simply appreciate the beauty of this extraordinary relationship, this broadcast is for you. Discover the secrets of sisterly love, support, and understanding as we delve into personal experiences and heart-to-heart conversations that will make you smile, cry, and reflect. So, grab your favorite cup of tea, get cozy, and let our Heart Talk Between Sisters broadcast warm your heart and lift your spirits. Join us every week for an emotional journey filled with wisdom, connection, and the enduring power of sisterly bonds. Don't miss out on this extraordinary experience.
To listen to our station WCAN Radio for this and other informative programs all day long, visit www.wcanradio.us. To be a special guest in any of our segments or to support us financially through sponsorship, call 1-868-397-5961 or 1-678-856-3709.